Hello everyone, good morning. How are you guys doing today? It's a good morning. Can you guys hear me loud and clear? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Thank you, Shian. Robin, good morning. Zenzone, good morning. Michael, good morning. Delphine, good morning. Python, good morning. Sylvia, good morning. Saad, good morning. Nick, good morning. So today is an interesting day. We got news just like we did before. We have news at 8:30, unemployment claims. Then we got another news coming at 10 a.m. So we'll see what we can do today and what price behaves. We'll read it together and see where the news can potentially deliver, and after that, if price is presenting us any high probability setup. If not, if we can't spot any setup after 8:30 delivery, we'll wait till 10 o'clock and 10:20 to 10:40 macro, and 10:50 to 11:10 macro is high probability when we have news at 10 o'clock. Okay, so we'll see what happens today. Last time when I did a stream and we had the same formation like today, we had news at 8:30, then we also had a news at 10 o'clock. 10:50 to 11:10 news was had a better delivery. Okay, do you guys remember? Okay, let me show you guys what happened. Let me find that screenshot of that day. Okay, so just hang on. Yeah, so this one. So here was the picture from another session, another live stream that I did, and the news was at 8:30, then at 10 o'clock. Okay, and we were looking at this chart. I don't know if you guys remember it or not. So here you can see, like, even after 9:30, right, there was no potential high probability setup. After 10 o'clock, after the news got released, there was no potential high probability setup. Price was just consolidating inside a range. Then the real move, okay, price broke from this consolidation and cleared out all the relative equal highs and trendline liquidity from here exactly at 10:50 to 11:10. So this is the reason I'm telling you that the high probability macro today is 10:20 to 10:40 and 10:50 to 11:10. These two macros are gonna be high probability. So we're just gonna watch chart until I believe 10 o'clock. If there's any setup, forms at 9:20 to 9:40, but seems like it won't because it didn't before in past. So we'll just wait for this macro to show up, and the formation is gonna be kind of similar like this. So we'll see what happens. Okay, we don't want to get chopped inside this zone, right? So that this is the reason we only trade inside our macros, because that helps us to avoid all this choppiness. Because if you don't know what price is doing inside certain time periods, you can just buy from this fair value gap, right? Because there's a fair breaker down here. You can also buy from this breaker and you can get chopped again. So there were multiple setups that formed that day inside this chop, but we mostly avoided everything, and I here took one loss as far as I can remember. But the setup was I took a loss at 10:20 to 10:40 macro. Okay, why? Because as you can see, we had a low here, lower low, and there was a SMT So the breaker was these up close candles, right? So I was like expecting price breaking out of the zone and going above and clearing out the sell side, sorry, buy side liquidity from up here. It didn't happen. Price just continued lower, chopped a little bit more, and the real move came exactly at 10:50 to 11:10 time period. So today we'll see what happens. Our experience gives us patience. It tells us to be more patient and trust in the process, trust in the time. So we'll start with Dow today as usual. We'll build our narrative from the weekly chart and all the way down to 1 minute and even lower 30-second chart. Okay, I don't go below 30-second because that's when price, to me, is like 15-second is too low, right? So I stick with the minimum is 30-second and the maximum that I'm trading on is 5 minute. So this is our weekly fair value gap. We're still trading inside it. From the weekly chart, this is what we can outline. And what do we have here? We have this BPR that we didn't trade it inside, right? We also had a regular trading hour gap from CPI last week, right? Price didn't even trade it inside the CPI delivery. So we had an extreme bullish month so far, right? So far an extreme bullish month. So if we continue to deliver towards buy side liquidity, okay, then this swing high can be our potential target. But this is just an idea. Okay, we'll still go through lower time frame to see if price is getting support towards buy side liquidity. If not, we'll continue to look for setup towards sell side as we did yesterday and the day before. So this high, why is this high so significant? Why not all the way up here? Because this too high, okay, both of these are important, and this high is near for the price and it's a relative equal high up here, right? So another thing that is going on here is this is the 40-day high. So this is why I'm gonna keep an eye on this one and see if price can potentially reach for it. Today is gonna be our last probability day of the week, okay, because tomorrow we got what, Thanksgiving, right, and a bank holiday. So I'm not gonna be trading tomorrow. There won't be a live stream tomorrow, so you'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm gonna be closing my week, to be honest, today, and if I see a good setup, that's okay. I'm still in profit as from yesterday's trade that I made on live. So this is our 40-day high. Let's mark it. So we'll keep an eye on this price on Nasdaq. Okay, cleared out this 40-day high, but we here didn't. We cleared out the 60-day high, and if you understand IPTA, once the market structure shift happens at 60-day, most of the time you will see the market structure shift happening at 60-day and at the beginning of a month, and it happened here, right? It's a 3-hour long lecture from our mentor. So if you can just type IPTA ICT on YouTube and you'll get the 3-hour long video. Watch it, you will understand most of it, but it will take some patience from your side to watch it. Okay, so the market structure shift happened here, and we also expect to see price retracing back to a discount level when it's trading inside the 20-day period. So I'm just going to give you guys a little idea of how important is it for you to understand the IPTA, because it gives a long narrative on how to decide the bias. And don't ask me questions about IPTA, like I'm not going to go into detail about it, not even on private, because our mentor already discussed it, and this is a topic that I'm going to cover in my mentorship. So here you can see that we have a market structure shift here, okay, and if I plot the IPTA here again, and you can see as I told you guys, that the high probability is price will reverse the 60-day, and high probability is price will have a long-term market structure shift at the beginning of the month. And as you can see, 1st of November we have the market structure shift. Okay, we are trading inside the 20-day period, and this is where we expect to see price returning back to a discount level and then pushing higher and yeah, we are not like predicting all-time high or anything like that. We just want to see what price can do in a short-term basis. We do not predict price in a long-term basis. Okay, so I want to see this 40-day high getting cleared out, but we'll see if it's getting cleared out at all today, or even this week, or even at this month. So it's very important for you to understand the IPTA, and if you go on my mentor's channel, you'll see the least view that has on his channel is that video, IPTA in interbank price delivery algorithm. It has a least view because why? It's a 3-hour long video and nobody want to watch it, right? All of you, most of you are here so fucking lazy, but go through that video, okay, watch it, and I can assure you will have a good understanding of price action, how it behaves on daily time frame. So 40-day high, right? What do I see here other than this 40-day high? Oh my god, I talked for 10 minutes about IPTA. When I talk about a concept, I forget about the time. Anyway, so we got a couple other things going on here on daily chart. We got a volume imbalance right here. And this is gonna be the daily chart. Abdul Malik, good morning. So we got our volume imbalance. So we'll see if price is returning back to this volume imbalance or not. Price basically closed the candle's body inside this one. So as our mentor taught us that once price closes a candle's body inside the volume imbalance gets less probable. So, but we'll still keep an eye on this one. Okay, we don't have any candle's body closure at this volume imbalance, and below it we have the CPI gap. So we'll also keep an eye on this one, but for price to reach all the way down here, it will have to trade inside this one first. So we'll see what happens. So we'll see. Okay, and as I can see here, we got a breaker here, as I told you guys in my last stream. Swing low, lower low, this is the breaker, and price is just basically getting support from it. We got a fair value gap here. This fair value gap will help us to decide this fair value gap will give us a narrative, okay, why price should go higher, and we'll get it from this fair value gap. Because this one, when this will fail, it will also work as an inversion. Okay, so for that I'm gonna keep this mark, this gray shaded box. And what else do I see? We also have another volume imbalance right here. Okay, this is a new day opening gap. Yesterday I was also referring to it as a volume imbalance, which it's not. It is a new day opening gap. So we'll toggle on our new day new week opening gap indicator, and we'll see what price does here. And as you can see, price got support from this new day opening gap, which formed yesterday, right? So price traded all the way down to this one, didn't even respect any order block here or any other concept other than this new day opening gap. If we drop down to the lower time frame, we'll see some bullish PT area here, but the main PT area here was this new day opening gap. So we'll see what happens. Let's go to hourly chart. Watch all of it, Adlof. There's nothing that defines, okay, this video is more important than this one. There's nothing like this. I'm referring to everything. Are you lazy enough to not to go through all the videos, Adlof? I feel like you are. That's why you were asking me what's the specific video about IPTA. Go through all of it. You don't have enough time. Anyway, so this is the fair value gap. right? And we want to see price trading above it. And if it does that, we want to see price closing a candle's body above it, then coming down, trading back from it, right? And what else do I see here? We got a low here, then lower low. So these up close candles also becomes a fair breaker. And we got our stop hunt here. Also our new lower low, right? And these up close candles becomes our breaker, but it is not a breaker yet. So for this to become breaker, we'll have to wait. And once price goes above it, right? Once price goes above this last up close candle, we can expect to see price getting support from it, as this fair value gap from 4-hour chart can potentially work as an inversion. Okay, listen to me carefully. I'm using the word potential because nothing here is certain. We trade based on probabilities, and this is what I'm expecting as a high probability, and it is still yet to form. Okay, so we'll see what happens. So we got a basic idea where price can deliver, right? If price goes above this fair value gap, we can expect to see price getting support from this breaker and then the inversion as well. If price is not going higher, right, we also do have a lot of buy side liquidity up here in a form of relative equal high. But if price is not going higher, we also do have the relative equal lows down here in a form of trend line liquidity right here. So we'll see. Okay, we are not determining anything before the news gets released, and today's session is gonna be a long one. Today is gonna be a day where market will test my patience. Okay, so I'll see if I can hold and not push button before the things get clear. Okay, in a day like this, I mostly do not look at chart until the 10 o'clock news gets delivered, because what I saw that if I'm looking at the chart, price does something and it goes with my high probability models, the like price will have relative equal lows, trend line liquidity, and it will form a very nice breaker with a SMT. Then at the same time it will just go lower because low probability before high impact news, right? So it's always me doing something wrong. It's not the chart. So that's why I will try to not to push the button before 10 o'clock, and we'll see. Okay, today is a day that price will test our patience, because we got news with mostly like 2-hour gap, right? With 2-hour gap. So we'll see. There's nothing to hide. I'm just being honest with you all. Like, if the feelings that I feel, it's like when we have news like this with a 2-hour gap, price does a lot of manipulation inside these time periods. And if you are not experienced enough, then you will get wrecked, you will blow your account, and things like that happens, and happens a lot, right? We mostly blow our account in high impact news because we want to get rich quick. So this is the whole narrative on Dow. Other than this, on 15-minute chart, what do I see here? On 15-minute, we have this volume imbalance, which where price is yet to trade, right? So we'll see. Where price is yet to trade here. So we'll keep an eye on this one as well, and we'll see if price is coming back to the discount and then moving higher or not. And if price is coming to this discount, okay, we want to see price forming relative equal highs. The relative equal highs can form in a relative equal high or in a trend line liquidity, so it can have two formations, right? So we'll see what price does, and now I will take you guys on lower time frame. If what I believe, if price is eventually returning back for the discount level, right, it will trade inside this volume balance. So I'm not gonna mark this fair value gap or any fair value gap here. We also got another one here, another volume balance, but I want to see price reaching for here if it's dropping. Now that I'm on 5-minute chart, okay, oh sorry, it's on 3-minute chart. One of my favorite time frame when 30-second and 1 minute chart looks choppy. I do not look at 2 minute. It's 1, 3, 5 and 30-second. What do you guys see here? So what I believe, like price will hit this fair value gap again as we generated relative equal highs up here, and then we will have a sharp drop at 8:30. So something like this is what can potentially happen. And as you can see, as I'm on 3-minute chart right now, this volume imbalance that we saw on 15-minute chart, this one, right, now it has order blocks with fair value gap here. So this one is a good support level for price to get support. This is a good bullish PD area for price to get support from, right? So let's see what happens. This is what I'm expecting on 8:30. The folks who wanna build themselves, wanna build a future for themselves as a gambler, they will push button here, okay, targeting for this. We don't wanna be a gambler. We wanna be a professional who do not trade every day, but 3 or 4 times in a month and makes their ends meet and enjoys the rest of the month. Gambler, they're always impulsive, okay? They don't have a peace of mind. You'll see them, the folks who trade on news, if you watch their videos, okay, they make shorts on YouTube, TikTok and stuff like that, but if you see them, they're really impulsive. Like seems like they will have a heart attack right at the news release. So we don't want to go through that moment. So now let's go to NASDAQ. And okay, so seems like a very beautiful trend line liquidity here on NASDAQ as well, right? Aggressive bullish delivery throughout the London session with shallow retracement here, and the delivery was very aggressive with a lot of relative equal lows here. This is a clean trend line liquidity, right? And yesterday I marked this weeks as a rejection block, and we saw price rejecting from it live. Now today price cleared out this swing high up here, and all buy side liquidity that we have left is up here. So we cleared out a major swing high, right, from the weekly chart, as well as on lower time frame we saw a trend line liquidity forming here, right? So what I believe, like we'll see some down movement today, and we'll see if it's happening inside our macros or not. So this is our buy side liquidity from the weekly chart, and it's cleared. And if price is going lower, okay, we want to build our narrative from the higher time frame, because the higher time frame PD rates are gonna be more effective compared to the lower time frame ones. So what do I see here? This volume balance, yeah, I'm not gonna take the consideration of the volume balance, but if NASDAQ is still pushing higher and leaving the relative equal lows, that's also good for us, because at 9:30, okay, if at 8:30 price is not clearing out the trend line liquidity that we saw on 3-minute chart, if it's not happening at 9:30, then 8:30, then we can expect to see price clearing that out at 9:30. And if it's not happening at 9:30, then we got our macro at 10:50, right? 10:20 macros, those stuff. So this is our rejection block, and so if price is trading higher, this is where we'll expect to see a potential rejection happening. So I don't have this is our rejection. What? Rejection block. Now let's go to 4-hour chart. We still have 15 minutes, right? 16 minutes before our news gets released, so still got time to analyze more. We got relative equal lows down here. So we got a big fair value gap right here with the BPR, right? And it seems like price filled the BPR from this one. And if we measure the fair value gap here, the fair value gap that we have here, you can see that price is trading at the upper quadrant, right? 0.75 right here. So this is also a rejection level. So we'll see what price can do right up here. I'm just gonna mark this level, 0.75%. Okay, and we are also trading inside this PPR, so keep that in mind. Do we have anything else here? We don't. So now let's go to hourly chart. Hourly. And what else do we have? So price got rejected from this upper quadrant, right? The measurement of the daily 4-hour fair value gap. And now it came back up to this level again, and now it's getting rejected again. Those who have low sound, just increase the volume on your part, okay? Did price so we had a stop hunt here, so this is our new dealing range. Okay, it's not a stop hunt, right? The low of this candle coming at 15,943. This one 15,942. Yeah, just by 1 point price cleared out the swing high here, but still it's still a relative equal low. And what I'm gonna do is, okay, I'm just gonna avoid this long freaking wick that formed at 16.15 yesterday, and this is our whole dealing range. And I believe the high here is formed, okay, but we'll see. Did we hit the order block here? We have a small order block, but if this is the high, right, then this is gonna be our midway of this range. And I believe price can, if we are seeing a bearish movement, then this is the level. This is gonna be the level of interest for me. This BC right here, okay. And I wanna see price smashing through all of this fair value gap and not getting support from any of it once we see the rejection lower. So now you guys have my bias and the narrative that I built it with you, okay, here. So we'll see what price can do on Nasdaq, on Dow, and all the other pairs. And seems like Dow is having a very good formation. So I'm gonna keep Nasdaq on 3-minute right here. And I'm gonna keep ES here. ES 3-minute. A lot of relative equal lows, trend line liquidity. So ES, look at here. The Dow and ES, they move together. And ES has, okay, we didn't trade it inside this fair value gap, but we moved lower. And on 3-minute chart, we also formed a fair value gap. We are expecting bearish price action, okay? As I told you guys that we are expecting a bearish price action, and it's happening. The bearish price action is happening. We generated a fair value gap, okay. This is also a breaker right here. The down close candles that we have here prior to this move up, that's what makes a breaker. So now all I'm gonna do is wait for the news gets released and do nothing else. So I'm gonna sit still and wait what's gonna happen. Okay, wait to see what's gonna happen. So if I take you guys on the lower time frame, what is this? Relative equal highs, and on 3 minute this fair value gap is unfilled, right? So we also have relative equal highs up here, but we rejected from the breaker here. So what I believe, price will come up, clear out the relative equal high from here, and then go down. We still have this fair value gap to fill, okay, or even maybe lower. If price is clearing out the lows that it formed on Nasdaq and reaching for the BC that I outlined here, right, then I believe we'll see a very bearish delivery on Dow. Now see how noob a question can be. It never gets any noober than this, okay? So someone is asking me, I trade with FTMO but cannot see any macros. Macro is a time, okay? It's not something that you see on FTMO. So we are trading inside this fair value gap, right, on 1 minute chart. As you can see, we had relative equal high. We cleared it out. We traded inside the 3 minute fair value gap. And as I told you guys, when price was trading here, I want to see this level getting cleared out and then a bearish move straight down. Now this is a very clean formation, okay? What we are doing is we are calling the news, but we'll see what happens, okay? We do not trade news. And this down close candle working here as a breaker, higher high, new higher high, down close candles. Yeah, my trading view color, yes, it's here. Just take a screenshot. This is the color code, this one, and the borders are black. The background, this is the color code for background. It's not white, it's like creamy white. Just take a screenshot. Why do I prefer AM session? Because when I was working, okay, just based on my personal preference, nothing like PM session is not high probability or anything like this. It was because I was working from 3 to 11 when I was working, see? So I had the whole AM session free to learn how to trade. That's why I've always been like trading on AM session. I started my journey with trading on AM session and it's still going on like this. So see, this is the reason I told you guys that not to trade the news, okay? Let's see if we go for this relative equal highs. So the breaker here is invalid. We have the relative equal high up here. And we got support from this fair value gap on 50-minute chart. So I said it many times before in past. Macros are specific time periods, 20-minute intervals, where price repeats the same repetitive structure again and again. That's it. It's the simple logic. It's not a strategy. It's just the time where you expect to see your model forming again and again and again. If your model is not forming inside that macro, then look for another model that forms inside that macro. And that's how you build a good understanding of macro. So this is why macro is not a trading model, because only macro with only by looking at time, you cannot just push button here. You will have to see what price is doing, and that's why it's time and price. Okay, time first and then price. You cannot trade one alone, either of these alone. You will have to align both of these, and when you do that, it gives you a great deal of understanding what price is doing and what it can do in future, potentially. Okay, not every single time, potentially. From now on, I always say that potentially, because some noobers, they come here and say, okay, HYDRA, you told me inside macro I will see a breaker, but here I don't see a breaker. Now it's often, okay, the folks who have experience in trading, they know nothing here is 100%. The formation that you see forming today, it may not happen tomorrow, but it's high probability that it will happen. Okay, with a good statistics ratio like 50 to 70, 80% of the time you will see it happening. So this is why I always add from now on like potential. And we have this relative equal high up here. We also got this CB from the 4-hour chart, this small little gap here, CB 3-minute. So there's also a breaker, right? So as I told you guys, that if price is going higher, right, price basically cleared out the trendline liquidity that it formed here. This is the trendline liquidity, and price cleared it out. We have 2 minutes before the news gets released. So this is the trendline liquidity. Price came down, cleared out the trendline liquidity. Now it's moving higher. And the folks who watched me from the beginning, I told you that if price is going above this fair value gap, we can use it as an inversion. And we also have a breaker here, so swing low, the new lower low. So these are close candles, all of it becomes our breaker, but the high probability is these ones. So for us to use this breaker, price will have to go above this CB first. Now let's see what it can do. Breaker, let's see. So price rejected from this CB. I do not trade bank holiday, but sometimes the day after that I do trade. When you take prop farm, what chart do you use? What do you mean by this? With top step I use the features one, right? The exact same chart. And when I'm trading with like CFD, I use US30 US100, things like this. So it's just delivering back and forth, right? It delivered straight towards the sell side, then it retraced back to the premium, then it came down, now it's coming back to the discount again, sorry, premium again. So if I take you guys on the lower time frame, you'll see what's going on here. See the back and forth price action on 30-second. Now the gamblers wanna trade this. So Saad is saying there's a lot of setup that forms every hour. Very impressive that you avoid them. So I think you missed one word here. There's a lot of low probability setup. Okay, you missed the low word. Nicholas asking Hydra, can you explain how was your journey with trading? You were able to achieve the goal of making your my ends meet from trading 14 months, but did you leave your job in what point of it? Exactly at the 14 months. But I had the money. I started making the money, like not consistently, but when I was like completing 1 year. So the reason behind me reading this chart the way I do is because I wasn't lazy. Okay, I was putting in the work. I was watching I can say that every ICT video that he has on YouTube, I watched them all multiple times. Not only did I watch, okay, I'll show you guys something. how patient I was with my journey. I'll show you guys my notes that I have. I was taking handwritten notes like this, as you can see here on my iPad. Multiple pages. I have hundreds of pages of notes like this. Now tell me, do you have anything like this, or you are just watching a video and only watching it one time and then coming here and looking for a trade, not even demoing you what you learned? What I did the demo part. Okay, I went through more than, I believe it was more than 8 months. I was 8 straight in demo. In between I did traded the funded accounts. Okay, back when I started with live money, but when I found ICT, we had prop firms going on, so I was also trying it, but at the same time I was blowing it. But it didn't affected me, but because I was buying the lowest account that I could. So that's why, because if I can make consistent money on a 10k account, 10k challenge account, I can do the same on a 100k account. It doesn't matter. First I have to learn how to do it. The account size doesn't matter, and that's the reason that I'll tell you guys that this is the reason why I can read the chart the way I do now, because of being patient, because of my hard work, because of not feeling lazy to put in the work that is required. I not only watch the YouTube videos, I also watch the his private mentorship videos that I bought from the resellers. Okay, I don't consider it is a good investment because I paid a lot, but I watched it all. Even the commentaries that he did, ICT was saying that the mentorship, his private mentorship commentary, was not like as much effective as it was, but to me it was. I'm gonna say why, because the same price action that repeated 2 years ago is gonna repeat again. So I'm getting a commentary from my mentor, calling the market, using the price action. He did it before, he did it in past. It's not gonna be effective tomorrow, but I'm learning from it, and that's how I built my edge. That's how I learned about how important time is when it comes to building your model. Okay, he didn't talk much about macros or even the time part in his YouTube, but he did a lot in his private mentorship. In dollar commentaries I saw that, in forex commentaries I saw that. Like, he's always mentioning about the kill zones, always mentioning about the time. Like, I was like, why it is so important? And it didn't click. Okay, when I was demo trading and I was journaling, I was like, okay, the breaker that is forming is usually forming at 9:30 period, so is it a macro? Why is it forming there? Then ICT released macros on 2022, like 950 macros, 1010 macros, then 1050 to 1110 macros. So he gave me a narrative by saying that look for your setup inside this time period. And I was like, okay, I already know the breaker forms at 9:30. So is it a macro? 9:20 to 9:40. Okay, so that's a macro, and that's the day when I found my model, and that's how I became consistent with it. And exactly at the 14th month, I quitted my job with the things that he taught on YouTube for free. I'm a free student. I never bought anyone's course, never paid for a single penny to anyone, and it's all because of ICT. Okay, so if you are poor, okay, don't feel. I was a poor guy. Now I make $1,500 in one trade. But I was poor. I was making my ends meet like $150 per day. So if you are poor, don't feel like, okay, you won't be able to do anything. Just go on his YouTube channel, just spend your time effectively. That's it, and patiently. So nothing's happening other than a choppy price action. See, I told you guys that we are just gonna tape read. Okay, we are just gonna be patient and see what happens here. And today I told you guys it's gonna be a session where price test our patience. Okay, to a lot of you will be like, okay, Hydra, why are you missing, why are you not pushing the button here? I'm not gonna do that. It's a low probability condition. Suppose I push the button here and I'm right. What price is doing here? is generating emotion inside you rather than generating profits, right? It's coming back up, doing back and forth price action. So this is something that I avoid. Okay, gold. Let's talk about gold. Okay, let's not just sit here, and let's talk about gold and let's see what's happening on gold. And Nasdaq still chopping around, but where the level that we got from the higher time frame, right? Look at the candle's body. It's staying below the 0.75% of this fair value gap, right? Measure this fair value gap and you will see the upper quadrant is coming here. The bodies are staying below. So I believe if price don't reaches for this trend line liquidity that you can see here at 850, I believe we will have a setup, okay, to tape read at 920 to 940 inside that macro that will deliver liquidity inside this fair value gap. And now let's talk about gold. What's going on here? So on gold, this was our rejection block from the weekly chart. Just wait again. As you can see, this is the rejection block on gold. And now let's go to the 50-minute chart. We basically have it aligned from the yesterday's analysis, right? Yesterday we called the market higher from this level, I believe, from this level, and I told you guys that a better entry will be from this fair value gap and the breaker here that we have. So what price did here? Price formed a retail pennant. Okay, is it a flag pattern or a pennant pattern? Let me check. Is it a flag or pennant? Okay, it's not a flag. So I believe it's a pennant, right? Yeah, so this is a pennant and seems like a good respect of the retail theory, which is price coming down, and the same thing is visible here. If you compare the image, you can see price came down, went higher, then went lower, right? So what our mentor taught us is that to look, this will happen, okay? And where is the retail stop now? So you will have to think like retail to make some money here on gold. So the retail buy stops are here above these relative equal highs, above this triple top, right? So now all we have to do is find out from where can price potentially reverse, and it will come straight at this level, and this level will work as a magnet. So let's put a magnet here. Now we'll find like from where it can reverse. From where it can reverse. We got some order blocks right here, but I believe, okay, if I was trading here on gold, I'll wait for price to come all the way down and trade inside these fair value gaps here. Okay, this is what I will do. I won't do anything other than this because there's no breaker other than the mitigation block here. Okay, there is one higher high, new higher high, so these down close candles becomes our breaker. But as I told you guys, we are not trading retail patterns, and price generated another double bottom here. Okay, so keep an eye on this. And to me, the high probability is for price to come down, as I told you guys yesterday, come down and then move towards buy side liquidity, something like this. This analysis is only applicable as long as we have these relative equal highs intact. Does it make sense? So I'm gonna put an alert here, and if price reaches all the way down here, we'll look what can happen. If not, okay, so why I do not trade gold? Because of this, because price respects these levels very nicely. If this formation was happening on stock, right, the formation happens like this, you'll see right exactly after price clear out this relative equal low, price will reverse and clear out this one with speed. But on gold, it seems like it respects it quite a lot, the retail theory, like it did here, right? We had a double top here, price came down, hit the discount PTA, we had the breaker, daily breaker and the hourly breaker. We called the market higher from this level, and this is what happened so far. So what I will recommend you to wait and see if price reaches for this level. If it does, then trade from this one here. Does it make sense? So now let's go back to our Dow, and seems like SC can destroy formation, right? So I'm not gonna do anything other than just watching price here on 3-minute until 10 o'clock. So if you want to watch it with me, then watch it. Otherwise, you can take a nap and come back. What do you think of the trading view Black Friday sale? It's totally a steal. I don't understand like why people will buy it other than this time of the year. I bought 2 years together, so I'm happy for 2 years. I'm done for 2 years. Why you charge, lol? I charge for my experience, okay? I told you, if you are poor, you don't have to complain about anything. What ICT already provided you, you can go and take a look there. So let's answer some questions. You guys got a lot of fun. How do you decide which time frame CB or BC to use? Zambada, I did it when I started my stream. So go back and watch how I use higher time frame to lower time frame to build my bias, okay? Yes, ICT will post the private mentorship videos this Christmas, as it told us. Yeah, Joshua, I think macros won't change. How did you know that the macro plus breaker is your model? For that, okay, you will have to go back to our mentor saying is that the model that you can spot on chart easily, that's your model, and I can spot breaker pretty easily on chart. That's why this is my model. If you can spot a fair value gap easily, then that's your model. Go with it. Price respect fair value gap just like it does here. So all you have to do, find out like at what time price respects these fair value gaps. I'm not trading until 10 o'clock news gets released, or I will try not to. Okay, I'll see if price has any good formation at 920 to 940. See what's happening here? It's a low probability condition. Okay, so let's see. We'll be patient. I already shared my thoughts, Nabil. You are not patient enough to go back and rewind the stream, and I'm saying it multiple times until 10 o'clock. I'm not gonna do anything other than just watching charts, because there's nothing that is high probability forming. I have a good idea like where price can go potentially. I have my analysis on my mind, and that's what I shared at the beginning of the stream. I'm using the max that they go, like the premium, this stuff where you can use like all of the charts together, 8 charts together. Okay, so I think this is better, right? If I put all the charts here, does it look good? Let's see. Apply to all. Okay, so I'm gonna put the Dow 3-minute here, then Dow 5-minute here. Let's watch all time frames. Then I'm gonna put ES 3-minute here, and I'm gonna toggle on the new day opening gap, and the 3-minute fair Nasdaq 3-minute, gold as well. No, gold not here, gold. So NQ 15-minute, yeah, Nasdaq 15-minute, and here I'm gonna put gold. Now it's looking better, right? You all can watch every time frame together. My screen is pretty big, so it can show everything. So let's watch it like this. I already showed the color of my chart multiple times today, so go back and you will see me showing the chart color. Have you traded DAX 30? I never did that. Sher Khan, I'm good, bro. How are you? No, thanks. Do you think the TradingView Premium is worth it, or shall I take the Essential as a beginner? Take the Essential as a beginner, okay? There's no need for you to look at all charts like this. Okay, I have money to waste on TradingView, so I did that. But as a beginner, just stick with like the essentials, and that's what I was doing when I was a beginner. Is lunchtime a kill zone? We'll see. Lunchtime, yes, it's inside the New York kill zone, right? Now lunchtime has a macros. Please, brother, what is better to trade? Tape read myself or watch you? What will you give more experience? Tape read by your doing it by yourself. Sophian, we are not looking for trades here. See, you guys are losing your patience, and you guys are okay. This is a breaker. Something is gonna pop up. Nothing is gonna pop up. All you have to do is being patient until 10 o'clock. Bro, how you manage trading along your job? I don't get time, bro. How? That's the biggest excuse that one can make, Sher Khan. How do you get not time? Your job is 8 hours. It doesn't matter what time you are doing it, right? It's 8 hours, and then you have the rest of the day for free. You are free at the time, right? So suppose for me it was taking like 1.5 hours, 1 hour and 30 minutes to get to the job and come back from the job. So after that I'm free. So what do you mean you don't get time? Of course you get time. Like I was doing work from 3 to 11, so I had the whole morning session free. I explained how I take the entry with breaker in my 3-day workshop. So if the folks who want to know more, they can go and look at the time frame. They can go and check out my 3-day workshop. Okay, it looks nice on 6 layouts. Yeah, I think so. It's 8, I think. 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, it's 6. Okay, 6. Yeah, it looks better. right? I think I'll stick with this, the 6 layout. Here we can also see gold here, right? So Dow doing nothing. I don't wanna trade inside this low volume where price is so choppy. Okay, so we'll just be a little bit more patient and let price do whatever it wanna do until our macro gets started. 856. Nick, third stream with camera, third hat. Love your choice of hats. I have like so many hats. If I use one every day, you don't finish like with a month. So in a month we get like 22 trading days, right? So yeah, each new cap each day. Can you briefly explain your trade entry after a breaker has been confirmed? I remember you mentioning a candle close above, below, and the candle and the second candle. Okay, I already did that in my previous stream. I believe you are here new, so just go back. I have a video free on YouTube about breakers and my model. Actually 2 videos, so you can go and check that out. Macro with breaker, that's the name of the video, and you'll find it there. So see, Nasdaq generated more relative equal lows down here, right, on 3-minute chart. As you can see down here, it did a very 1-point stop run below the swing low. Now it's moving higher. We have this gray shaded box. What is this? The rejection block from which chart? I believe it's from the weekly chart. No, yeah, it's from the daily chart, the rejection block that we outlined here. So our price is reaching for this on Nasdaq. And as I told you guys that when I started my stream, if price is not clearing out the relative equal low and the trendline liquidity that it formed here at 8:30 news, it didn't, right? We can expect to see price clearing it at 9:30, and if it doesn't do that, then we have other macros to look into. So see, I told you guys that this is gonna be a day where price tests our patience, right? And seems like it is testing our patience and nothing high probability. So this one, this CB, I wanna see this candle, okay? Now that this candle closed above this one, okay? This is now an inversion, and these up close candles can work as a breaker. Things looking good on NASDAQ as we have this, right? Targets, okay? Our model gets high probability when we have high probability targets like this, and it's visible on NASDAQ, which is not visible much on Dow compared to NASDAQ, right? So we'll see which pair provides us a setup, good setup. We are also keeping an eye on NASDAQ. And on 5-minute chart, okay, as you can see, this candle is trading above this inversion. From the 4-hour chart, I want to see this candle closing above the inversion, and it did closed. Now let's see if price gets support from this. From this inversion and the breaker as well. Where is the breaker? If you go on higher time frame like 50 minutes, you will see a swing low here. So up close candles here becomes our breaker. All of these up close candles are our breaker. But the best reaction I taught you guys inside my 3-day workshop, and you know from where to expect the best reaction when you have multiple candles as a breaker. HYDRA, when there is a high impact news at 10 a.m., do you consider 1020 to 1040 and 1050 move? Yes, yes. So on NASDAQ, a rejection can potentially happen from this rejection block from the daily chart right here. And if you look at the price level, okay, 16,100 is looking like a good price level to reject from. From this level, so we'll also keep an eye on this. So look at gold, okay? As I told you guys, that a good support on gold can potentially happen from this price level, which is at the breaker, right? Breaker and the fair value gap, which we have here, and the gold is rejecting from this fair value gap. So now let's see if gold reaches for this level and then pushes higher or not. Okay, so is there any other ICT streamer do you guys know of? I know like 2 of them. I know Phantom, who trades on live, but not like consistently. Sometimes, and sometimes on YouTube, mostly on inside his private group. Then who else? I know Geekite the trader. He's also an ICT streamer. Then I also know someone. Do I know? Yes, there was a guy named Ryan. He also trades live, sometimes on YouTube, but not every day. Is there anyone else? Yeah, I saw Kimmel, but what he does is that when he's in a trade, okay, and the trade is already running in a profit. I know he's a successful trader, but the stream, I don't like the stream part of it in his videos. He'll come on live when the trade is already in profit and it moved like suppose 10-15 pips, and then he will come live and talk about price. He's not predicting price, rather he is live streaming when he is already in a winning trade. Yeah, Doji D, yeah, that's what he is Ryan. So yeah, he trades like every day. He does it every day. Doji D, really? I thought it does it inside his private mentorship in his Discord group. Not every day, okay? He trades inside his Discord group, but not on YouTube. The last stream that he did, it was like 2 months ago on YouTube, so. I'm not gonna trade before 10 o'clock. It's just because I don't want to. See, price got support from this breaker, right? And as well as from the inversion, as I told you guys, that we can see we can expect to see a potential movement higher. And on 5-minute chart, when price closed this candle's body, okay, when price closed this candle's body, I told you guys that after the candle that opens, it will see a potential support, and seems like this is what's happening on Dow. A good breaker reaction from here, right? $9.12, we have our macro incoming at $9.50, $9.20. So let's see what price can do. Let's see if we can identify a setup. On NAS, it's not, because as you can see, Delphine, we have multiple stop hunt towards buy side liquidity again and again and again and again. So it's not the 3-dot pattern that is forming here. I'm gonna still wait on Nasdaq to see if we can reject from this rejection block that we outlined from the daily chart. Nasdaq has better targets like these liquidity levels that we have here. So we are trading inside the breaker again on Dow. Your breaker model formed so clean that HR1 in intermediate term, what ITF returned to HTF PT array. Really, that there was a breaker on EU? Let's check it out. I think you are trying to say this one, right? It's easy to spot here. Okay, so there was relative equal lows, trend line liquidity down here. And when did this breaker got activated? Inside 820 to 840 on EURUSD. See the macro that I shared with you all on stocks, it also works on EURUSD, and seems like price activated this breaker inside our 820 to 840 macro. Price had what I taught you guys as strong liquidity, and before a high probability breaker forms, this is what you will have, and you got it here. You had a better delivery, right? Compared to, it's not a fake out. Wait, on yes, YM 3-minute. Which chart I had here? I had ES here. Okay. See, I forgot ES 3-minute chart. And now I will take you guys on 1 minute on Dow. And what do you guys see here? I'm not gonna take this breaker into a consideration anymore. We have this breaker down here alongside with the inversion that we got, right? The 4-hour fair value gap. So this is the breaker, and we also got a fair value gap here. Are we inside our macro? We have a lot of trend line liquidity resting here. So on 1 minute on Nasdaq, do we have a breaker? On Nasdaq we don't. On Nasdaq we don't. So we got a good setup to tape read with a fair value gap, right? So let's see what price it does inside this fair value gap. And we also got good targets. This low right here can be our low hanging fruit, and the volume imbalance that we didn't trade at on 15-minute chart. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna narrow the focus and 3 charts here. We'll have our breaker here. So now let's take a quick look on Nasdaq, and we'll put our ES here, and this is what's happening on Nasdaq. So on Nasdaq as well, we have a breaker here. So price got rejected from the breaker already, right? We also have a fair value gap here, which is working as an inversion. So this is something to keep in mind, this inversion on Nasdaq. And Nasdaq has better targets towards sell side liquidity. Let's go back to Dow, and Dow is looking like this. So we are getting inside our 920 to 940 macro. So I want to see if I'm right in the direction. I'll still wait. Okay, I'll let price to get inside our macro, and once it gets inside our macro, and if we are still trading inside this breaker, I want to see price smashing through towards sell side liquidity and hitting this volume imbalance from 50-minute chart. So let's wait. Our macro is right here, 920 to 940. Right, so we got our breaker. check out Johnny Lee Lin. Who's that? Johnny Lee Lin on YouTube. He trades ICT live every day. Fake out on YM. Okay. Johnny Lee Lin. I never heard of him. So let's check him out. Check him out. Johnny Lee Lin. Okay, now that price is moving towards this breaker, it's also generating this relative equal low, and that's what we want to see. Johnny Lee Lin. Is he ICT trader? Is he ICT? Is it him?
Right there. You can see how price bounced right off of that order block there. So that leads me to believe we are headed higher, but I don't know.
Wow, his charts are so messy. Anyway, let's see what he is talking.
Price continues upwards. Got this order block there.
So yeah, now we are trading inside our 920 macro, right?
I'm gonna remove this Fibonacci.
We hit this fair value gap as well as the breaker. Now let's see if price potentially moves lower.
For now.
Let's see what he's talking.
No fair value gaps here. Liquidity void. Mitigation blocks. It's all there. Bearish order block is here.
How can he see chart when it's full of indicators?
So far, no lower lows created. That movement up from that low to where we are now, that's about 10 points. Taking just the model of using a bullish order block in a trending market. So that can serve as temporarily, that can serve as small scalp opportunities there, but we are at an hourly bearish order block here. Let me see if I can shift this over here.
Anyway, that's it. Okay, I don't have much patience to watch it. So seems like price is rejecting from it. 920 to 940, right? Now let's see if price delivers liquidity all the way down here at this volume imbalance. These are just chart markers, no indicators. Okay. Candace did a question about the better streamer, and your name was between the winners. The Candace on Twitter? Which one? Rain. Which Candace are you talking about? I think it's from, yes, is it on Twitter? Let me see. I was inactive on Twitter for like all day. While looking at Dow and NQ has cleaner sell side liquidity. I'm Candence. Really? You are from Twitter? Thank you for watching my stream, Candence. That's a big support, so thank you. If you really are who you were telling me, then yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. And seems like we got our breaker at 920 to 940, and as well as we have a inversion here, right? Inversion on NQ, and I told you guys that this is gonna be a good level for a reaction, and let's see if price goes lower. Okay, let's see if price goes lower. If I'm right calling the market on Dow from this level, then if the 930 volatility is coming in most of the time, okay, most of the time when we have news at 10 o'clock, the volatility won't be there at 930. So if it's coming in, then we'll see price hitting this volume imbalance. So let's see. I'm not doing anything, okay? I'm not gonna do anything until we get inside our, until we deliver 10 o'clock news, okay? I did something. I did push the button before when we had news at 8:30 plus 10 o'clock, and I lost money right exactly here. Okay, that the same formation here was repeating just on last unemployment claims, and the same formation was repeating, and I lost money here. So I'm just gonna be patient enough because of the experience that I got, and I found out that the better price action happens after the 10 o'clock news gets released, and this is what our mentor is also telling us to do, right? So I'm gonna hold on, and I'm gonna let price do whatever it wanna do, and we'll do something inside 1020 and 1050 macro. And we are not just trading this pattern blindly, okay? See, we have a logic from the higher time frame. This inversion that you see here is from the 4-hour chart, right? So this is also working as a great deal of confirmation for us, and we got trend line liquidity and a volume imbalance right here, which is unfilled, but we have better targets on Nasdaq, but there is no high probability setup on Nasdaq. So as someone asked me a question, why am I not looking at Nasdaq? Because of there no visible high probability setup. For me to trade these lows, I'll have to find a setup first, right? And it's not there other than this inversion, and this is why I marked out the inversion. Now let's see what 930 brings to us, right? Are you feeling impulsive? Now let's do a pull. Let's do a pull, like start a pull. Let's do it quickly. Let's predict. So the pull is on. What do you think can happen at 930? Bullish delivery, bearish delivery, or seek and destroy? Now let's see. Seems like Nasdaq is having the volumes here, right? Seek and destroy. Yeah, seems like, see, breaking out from this breaker 929, and see, this is the reason I told you guys that I'm not pushing button here, right? See, the same thing happened previously at 930, and I lost money here. So today I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be patient and see the bullish delivery coming in. So most of the people said bearish, right? We saw this breaker down here, and this is the reason I'm not doing anything until 10 o'clock. Does it make sense? What I teach is not high probability before 10 o'clock news gets delivered. So there was this fair value gap here that price got support from. Same thing on Nasdaq. We are reaching for this rejection block up here on Nasdaq. ES is not even moving. So the ES is the weakest among all three of them. So HYDRA, in a normal day without news, would you take this short on YM? Yeah, I would have taken this. Yeah, we are sticking to rules, Rebecca. See, this is why the rules are here. And you guys saw me losing money here on last stream. So I learned my lesson. I learned it multiple times, but sometimes, as I'm a human being, right, I get impulsive and I'm like, okay, I can risk some money here, and that's how I lose it. And we hit the 16100 level on Nasdaq, and we are trading inside our rejection block. If we are going above this rejection block, that means we are clearing out the buy side liquidity from the daily chart, but this is a good level for a rejection, right? And we are going for the daily buy side liquidity. Five-minute hourly chart, and on hourly chart we got a big wick here. This is why we are seeing this. And when I started my stream, I also marked out this 40-day high, and I told you guys, if we are seeing a potential buy side liquidity, a potential bullish movement, then this can be a good target, because this is the 40-day high, which on Nasdaq is cleared out. So let's measure this week right here, and we hit the consequent encroachment of this week, right? And Nasdaq going for the buy side liquidity on daily chart. Now let's look at the daily chart on Nasdaq. This one, previous day high. So let's see, previous day high is getting cleared out. Previous day high. So it got cleared out. The previous day high is done, right? And I believe price will reach for this one. Now that the consequent encroachment got broken, upper quadrant got broken, now let's see if price reaches for this 40-day high, which is at 35,360. So this was our Monday's high, got cleared out. All I'm doing is watching chart, okay? And you can see I'm not feeling impulsive to push button anywhere at these levels. So let's see if we reach for this 40-day high. So the breaker here was the most important PTA, right? We identified the stop hunt when we started the stream and the lower low. So this right here, my friends, worked as a very good support for price. This breaker right here. Yes, they both cleared out the previous day high, and all that we have on Dow is this 40-day high from the daily chart, this one. Rebecca, you need your Uber Eats, HYDRA. Not today, okay? Today I'm cooking. It's getting too much. Today I'm gonna cook, and it's been like a week I didn't cook anything and been eating from Uber Eats. It's not healthy, right? And previous day high got taken out on Nasdaq. Nasdaq still pushing higher, and we are trading inside this daily week, right? So let's measure this week and let's see what price does inside here. So we hit the low of the rejection block. So as I told you guys when I started my stream, today is gonna be a test of the patience for me, and so far I'm passing it. I saw the 930 setup, I didn't execute it, and even beyond that we had a setup here. I didn't feel impulsive or no FOMO that I missed the setup here using the breaker. It's not like we identified in hindsight. We did it before when we started our stream that this breaker is gonna be a good one, and so far I'm feeling good. And on 1 minute chart on Dow, okay, Dow has a inversion here. This is the order block with this fair value. So now let's see if Dow gets support from this order block here. Both Dixie and Dow and SP moves high. Why? Low probability, Ahmed. When they are moving higher, like when they are having the same delivery, right, as dollar, this is a low probability condition. Pump before news. Yes, Lavin. Jomar, let him cook. Nabil, get married. Oh, get married. Yeah, I will think about that. But I'll still have to cook, right? Even if I'm getting married. So isn't it the same? Bro, can I see the weekly time frame on NQ? Why, you don't have the chart? Backs. You are not looking at your own chart? Are you a good cooker? Not really. That's why I order food on Uber Eats. I'm not a good cooker. I don't like my own cooking. It tastes when my mother was cooking with me, they moved in my country, okay? They moved in so when I was with her, I was complaining every day that you don't cook good, and now that she's not with me anymore, I feel like she was the best cooker in the world, the food that she used to cook. So the thing is that when you have the things, you don't appreciate it, and when you don't have it anymore, you miss it, right? So this is our inversion right here, and you guys are funny. Saad is saying Hydra don't cook outside the macro times. Yeah. So nothing significant other than this breaker here. Sorry, this order block with the fair value gap, right? This PC right here. And now that we are getting support, we have relative equal high up here. So we also got a breaker down here. Okay, this candle, these down up close candles are working as a breaker, and this is how I tape read when the probability is low. So let's see. High probability food. How do you target buy side liquidity when above ATH? Do we use standard deviation projection or wait to retrace to target BC? Yes, you can use standard deviation projection. I don't use it much, but what you can do here, right? We got a stop hunt here, right? There's some manipulation lag. This is the manipulation lag that is here. So you can project price from here at this lag. Okay, I'm on 30-second, 1 minute, and higher time frame is better for the projection. So okay, so the folks, which lag can we use here to target, to project our standard deviation projection? Let's test your learning curve. Are we gonna use this one, or are we gonna use this lag, the bearish delivery or the bullish delivery? Which one, chat? Which one is that we use for the standard deviation projection? Which lag here? All of these up close candle or this down candle? Yeah, I think you guys got it right, and most of you know it, right? Most of you know it. So this is the lag that we'll use for the projection, and seems like this is our -1 standard deviation. -2 and 2.5 is coming at this 40-day high, right? So let's see if the 10 o'clock news is bringing us here. As we know, -2 standard deviation is good for rejection. So basically, because of this, I don't use standard deviation. The 40-day high, I know that this is a good level for price to reach. This is a good level for price to reverse. And you can see the manipulation lag as well supporting our idea, right? -2 and -2.5 standard deviation is coming right exactly here. So its price is delivering quite heavily up here, right? And on Nasdaq, we hit the lower quadrant. The best reaction, okay, from the long weeks happened from the lower quadrant and the midway. One question about the 40-day high target on US30 in the YM. There is no Monday 4th September. What do you mean? I don't get your question, Lemiko. So 15 minutes before our news comes in. So how many of you are waiting here for a better entry after the 10 o'clock news, like me? How many of you are waiting and didn't push button since the morning today? Let me know in the chat. I wanna see how many of you are building the patience inside you that is required in trading. Okay, a lot of you. Now tell me, is it easier when you are watching me doing it with you? Because what I believe, like when you are doing it on your own, you feel that impulsiveness inside you. And when you are hearing me saying, okay, this is a setup and I'm not gonna take it because of this and that reason, isn't it getting easier? I believe it is. That's the reason behind me doing the live stream, and I'm enjoying it nonetheless. I'm enjoying it so far. It's also helping me as well. So we got a rejection right now, right? So let's see. We still have our 10 o'clock news to get released. So now let's see from why price is rejecting lower. Okay, now that I'm dropping down to 30-second, okay, you can see a lot more here. These reatypical highs, right? When you are doing it alone and when you're trying to be patient alone, the demon inside you can feel it more, right? It's always when I get inside these markets, you always see something forming, right? Like, okay, I see a breaker, I see a fair value gap, I see this and that, right? The demon becomes more stronger inside you. But when you are doing it also with someone who is experienced and you both have the same idea, it becomes easier, right? It becomes easier to control the demon inside you. So we also got a break order block, right? Price respected the order block and fair value gap before. Order block and the fair value gap here, right here. So we generated more relative equal high. I believe we are reaching for this -2 standard deviation and for this 40-day high. So let's see if price dives a little bit deeper inside this fair value gap right here. This is our BC, and we got another one. So we hit the order blocks that we have here, right? So previously price respected this order block, then it respected this order block again, and now it's respecting it order block again. So there, the couple of times price respected it when it's going up here, once, twice, third time, now it's respecting it fourth time, and I still believe it will push higher. Like, look at these levels. It's too clean to stay longer, right? Is it a SMT? Is it a SMT? Okay, it's a SMT with ES. See? Okay, it's not. It's not. They all made a higher high. Okay, my bad. It's not a SMT. That demon messed me today. Why? What happened? You pushed button early, you blown the account. Then see, the demon is you. It's not something that's happening on price. When you blow account, we all think, okay, this price made the mistake, but it's the demon that is inside you who made the mistake, and the demon is you. $9.50, 10-minute. Okay, 10-minute, and let's wait more. Okay, so before the news, we are seeing a pretty bearish delivery, right? 954. So inside our 950, we also got another breaker. Okay, so let's look at Nasdaq on 1 minute chart. We cleared out previous day high and the aggressive delivery to our sell side. So it seems like it's all happening before the news, right? So let's see if we get any high impact, any delivery, any high probability setup after the news gets released. Yeah, NQ is like dropping so fast to our sell side. So we got a breaker here, which I wasn't expecting to be working as a breaker. I was expecting price to reach all the way up here, but let's wait, folks. Okay, this is why I love to wait before the news is 955, right? And regular trading hour gap. Okay, we have a gap at regular trading hour. Let's take a look at on this. Yes, so we have this big gap here from the regular trading hours, right, as well as the breaker here. So we are coming down for the regular trading hour gap. Let's see if we get support from this one. And on NQ, are we feeling it? Yes, on NQ we came back to this gap as well. This regular trading hour gap from this low to this high. And below it we have multiple relative trendline liquidity, right? So it seems like today we are getting volatile before the news even comes in. Okay, so we are clearing out all of our high probability targets, and let's see, folks. Okay, if we get a setup, we'll engage. If not, we'll close the day without a setup. Electronic trading hours. MM watching you. Who is MM? Who is MM? Oh, market makers. Nah, it's always me who does the wrong stuff. It's not the market makers watching my stream or whatsoever. See, market maker seems like watching my stream, but I'm not doing anything right now. They can watch whatever as long as they want, right? I'm gonna push the button when I believe is high probability. Until then, I'm just gonna wait. If I don't see anything, I'm not gonna do anything at all. Okay, I'm not gonna do anything at all if I don't see what I'm expecting to see. So something like this after the news gets delivered at 10 o'clock. So one-minute chart. So on Dow, did we hit our regular trading hour gap? 958, 2 minutes. So we did hit our regular trading hour gap right here. Hydra, can you take a look at where the 8-hour time frame? Why? What do you think about the 8-hour stop hunt? Which what on Dow on 8-hour? Okay, let's see. This, you were talking about this. You don't have to come to 8-hour to see it. It's visible on 4-hour, 1-hour, and every other time frame out there. So the better reaction, I was expecting price to reach up here 10 o'clock. The news is here, folks. The news is here. Dollar flying and stocks dropping. Gold dropping as well. So the folks who entered early, okay, without waiting, as I told them to wait for the entry at the breaker, now their stop loss will get hit. So on gold, see, so if I take it on the hourly chart, sorry, the formation, the pennant was on 50-minute. Okay, yeah. So see, I told you guys that this is gonna be a better entry. Price came up, hit the rejection blocks here again, and got rejected again. Retested the pennant, the retail theory. Now I understand why our mentor never trades gold, right? As he always talks about, gold manipulates a lot. So gold seems like respects the retail theory quite a lot, right? So the retails, as I told you guys, see this as a pennant. And the folks who believe that it's only the ICT concept that works on market is not. Every other concept works on market. And you can see the pennant here. Drop down, came back up, retested the pennant. Now it's dropping again. This is why I never found interest to trade on gold, but we had pretty good calls on gold for the last couple of days. So I want to see gold reaching here, then bouncing off from this level, from this breaker. So the narrative stays same on gold and Dow. But the movements are very volatile on gold, right? Compared to NASDAQ and ES most of the time. So we hit our breaker again from the 50-minute chart, and now we'll look for a setup. Okay, folks, we are inside the zone where we look for a setup. This is our silver bullet time period, right? And our macro is getting started at 1020 to 1040. We'll look for a setup inside this time period, 1020 to 1040, and then we'll look for a setup inside 1050 to 1110. So I'm still gonna wait. So we have this relative equal low down here, this trend line liquidity, and at the same time we generated a breaker here. We had a stop hunt here. At the same time we hit the bullish breaker from the hourly chart. Still gonna wait. Okay, I'm not gonna do anything from the breaker here. let's see what happens since up here. We got this relative equal high. We also got a breaker here. I'm gonna wait for 1020 to 1040 macro and 1050 to 1110 macro. Until then, I'm just gonna watch and see how price delivers. We got good targets here. This relative equal lows that are resting down here, as well as multiple relative equal lows down here. And we are reaching for the BC here on Nasdaq that I told you guys the measurement, okay? And seems like the BC is gonna get hit. I'm still gonna wait because of the hourly breaker that I see here. Higher time frame PDAs are much greater than the lower time frame ones, and this is the breaker that we saw here on higher time frame. So let's wait for the 1020 to 1040 macro and let's see what we do here. And if we are respecting this 30-second breaker, which I believe that now the price got support from this hourly breaker, the 30-second one won't get respected, but if we do, these are good targets that price can potentially reach for, as well as the volume imbalance that we have here. $10.07 30-second 5-minute. So we are respecting this breaker so far, right, pretty nicely. And as well as we generated this relative equal high, and that's what I wanna see price doing, okay? I wanna see price generating constantly these relative equal highs when it's going down. And see, we are forming the pennant here again that we saw on gold. So let's see what, so the pennant is here, right? Do you guys see it? And this is how I think they mark it. Not so sure how they do it. So by their rules, the pennant should take us lower, right? As well as we also see a breaker here. Now let's see if this is what's happening. So we broke below the pennant, right? So now with the theory, based on the theory, we should be retesting the pennant and then going lower. $10.08. Very choppy delivery. That's why I'm waiting for 1020 macro, 1020 to 1040 macro, and 1050 to 1110. These are the two macros that I'm gonna tape read with you, and after that I'm closing my session. If I see anything until 1110, I will take it. If I don't, I'll just watch it. Turtle soup inside the breaker with 30-second fair value gap. Yup. Let's see if it brings us down or not. So far we are forming this pennant here, right? HYDRA, what's the one lesson that took tons of sweat and tears from you to grasp when diving into the trading ICT, but that you wish you knew before starting? With one word, I will say time and price. That's the only lesson that took a long time for me to understand. The breaker is easy to understand. It just, you'll have to find a swing high. Price will have to go above the swing high to form a bearish breaker. And the concept is very easy, right? You also have to find out high probability targets. But what's hard is that aligning the model with the time and being patient for the correct one to form. On NQ, we also got this BC, okay, from the hourly chart, as I can see it here, and we just hit the low of the BC here. Sorry, high of the BC from the 4-hourly chart. And look at gold now. Oh my god, that's why I don't like to put the alerts. It breaks my ears. My volume was high on my computer. It's like, damn. So gold hit our breaker with the fair value gap now that I told you guys. So keep an eye on this. If you are not trading on gold, just keep an eye on the gold, and let's see what gold brings us, right? So pennant got respected as well as the breaker, and at the same time we formed a lot of trend line liquidity up here. Okay, so I believe we'll see some kind of reaction at 1020 after we reach for this volume imbalance. Volume imbalance here on 3-minute. If you don't mind, have you already made your 6-digit overall payout, sir? Payout 6-digit, I did. I'm withdrawing continuous money from my live accounts. So see, price hit the volume imbalance, right? Price hit the volume imbalance from the 3-minute chart, and the breaker that was here is now getting wrecked. Price came down, right? So the retail theory, see, when I saw it on gold, I told you guys that the same formation happens on stock, but when it forms on stock, what happens is like price will go lower, clear out the swing low, then at the same time immediately it will move higher. That means what? It will clear out all the retail buy stop that is here. Does it make sense? But on gold, you saw that price respected it, went down, came up, retested the pennant, and then went down again. So I'm waiting, okay? You guys don't have the experience behind you with my model, so if you just, when you see the pattern, you execute. The pattern is not making a setup high probability. Always remember that. It's not the pattern that does that. It's time, then the logic, then the narrative. So the time is first. We just delivered the 10 o'clock news, and before the 10 o'clock news got delivered, we had a very aggressive delivery, right? So at the news, after the news, we can expect to see a high resistance liquidity run. So this is something also I'm going to teach inside my mentorship. There's a lot more that I can talk in this chart, which I'm not doing. So one part is that when price has an aggressive delivery, right? And after that, you can expect to see a high resistance liquidity run, and that's what happened here. See, this was a low resistance liquidity run delivery with high volatility, aggressive delivery, but after that, price went into high resistance liquidity run. Just the same logic, okay? When we have a large range day, after that, what do we expect? And seek and destroy day, right? The same thing can be narrowed down to 30-second chart. When you are using it on daily chart, right, the theory is when we have a large range day, the next day is going to be a seek and destroy day. When we have a large range delivery, the next delivery that is going to happen is a seek and destroy delivery. This is why I didn't execute it from this breaker even after I saw it forming at 10:950 to 10:10 macro. So now I'm still gonna wait 10:15. So we got we generated more relative equal lows down here, right? And towards sell side. Hydra, how to join your mentorship? To join my mentorship, you'll have to join my 3-day workshop. The mentorship is only gonna be available for them, my students from the 3-day workshop, because there's a lot. Okay, I wasn't expecting so many people to join, but we did, so I believe I'll just make it limited for them. So we have our low here, the new lower low. So these up close candles becomes our breaker. 10:16, still waiting. So this one is a better breaker to me. This right here, my friends, this one, because we did a stop hunt here at the same time. Okay, why am I not considering these relative equal lows here? So for that, I'll take you guys on hourly chart. What do you see? On hourly chart, we have a breaker, right? A bullish breaker, and then this big wick that we didn't trade it inside. On hourly chart, we generated it, right? So my chart is getting choppy. I don't like it. Why is it getting choppy? So many levels. So let's wait for price to go in above this breaker, and after that we'll have a trade idea. Still gonna wait. We hit the rejection, we hit old rejection block right here. So I believe if we are going higher and closing a candle body above these up close candles, this is gonna be a good place to take partial. This is gonna be a good place to take profit, to take to close your position. But if we are still trending lower, we still have lower targets though, right? So let's see. I see the breaker again, generated more relative equal highs, and ultimately we have this big relative equal highs up here, this clean level. And Nasdaq also did another stop hunt right here, as you guys can see, and this happened inside the hourly fair value gap, which is at discount. Okay, and we also have a big week on Nasdaq on hourly chart. So we got a stop hunt. So this is a breaker, my friends. Okay, this is the one that I'm gonna consider. So let's see if price goes above it and does something. And we are also getting inside our macro. 1020, we are inside our macro. So we have our stop hunt. Okay, from our previous experience, we know that the better setup forms at 1050 to 1110. And this is the same thing that price did before, is now it's doing again. Okay, so this is our new lower low. So I'm gonna be a little bit more cautious. I do see this high here. I do see these unfilled fair value gaps here, and all above here I see this relative equal high. So let's see. Another relative equal low. That's what I don't want to see. That's what I don't want to see. But okay, on dollar, okay, seems like a low probability setup again. So I'm gonna show you guys the chart on dollar. On 30-second on dollar, what do you guys see here? This is the relative equal highs, right? Equal high price generated this clean level, and now it's coming back down for the discount. So we can potentially see a up move on Dow and Nasdaq until price reaches at this level on. So Nasdaq has a better setup compared to Dow, right? Nasdaq also formed a breaker inside our macro with a fair value gap. Now let's see if Nasdaq takes us higher from this level. I want to see a fair value gap forming here. So a fair value gap formed on Dow here, right? So let's see if price pushes higher from this level. And if it does that, this level is going to be a good target. Right up here, 0.5% of the big wick that we generated at news, before the news, okay? Before the news and also at the news. So we got two setups, Nasdaq and US30 as well. Now let's see, I want to see price going higher from this level. Let's see if it does that. It seems like we are getting the reaction, so this is gonna be the point of interest, this 0.5% level, and we generated relative equal high up here. So I believe we'll push higher. What's the total cost of your mentorship plus the workshop? The workshop is $80 and the mentorship for the 6 month with no monthly charge is gonna be $200. So we cleared out the swing high up here, right? I don't want to see a down move after, now that we cleared out the swing high, okay? Because look here, folks, we generated this clean trend line liquidity, all as well as a relative equal high. I want to see price pushing, okay? From this, I don't want to see it retrace. One minute chart. So we came back to the fair value gap again. This small little fair value gap. We also have a volume imbalance right here on 1 minute chart. Could you explain the breaker? Thanks. I did multiple times. The breaker, I did explain this so many times, right? Where have you been? Are you watching my stream for the first time? This is a level that we cleared out. Very slow delivery. Let's see what 10:30 brings us. Do we have any other news incoming today? Do we have any other news? We basically don't, right? We don't. 10 o'clock, do we have any low impact news? Apply filter. Okay, we have one. Crude oil inventories. See in 2 minutes. We have another news, the low impact news, coming at 2 minutes. Now let's see. Why are you? Tell them to turn up every day and they will learn. Yes. No, you can't join 5 month directly, Geeta. I'm the first time watching, bro. Okay, then watch more, okay? Don't just make decision impulsively. Watch more. Jennifer, some people are teaching that breaker blocks are just order blocks that failed. Do you agree with that? Yes, they are reclaimed order blocks, but we call it breaker blocks. Please, Hydra, on you, do you consider the price from 951 to 1010? I'm not doing a signal. It's wiser to take the 3-day course, then you will fully equip to mentorship. Yes. Yes, and it's worth way more than that if you join. The folks who joined. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I over-delivered everything, and all you have to know about breaker inversion is there. And also turtle soup. So don't forget about that. So 40 seconds before the news comes in. the low impact one, crude oil inventories, right? 1030, and we have our macro running on with this breaker, with this fair value gap. At 10:30, I think we will see some volatility that will bring us here. So let's see. So on NASDAQ, see, price came down, hit the breaker, right? So you know what to do. The folks who know, they're already doing it. So very choppy delivery so far here. A lot of trendline liquidity and a relative equal low down here. So 10:30, news is pending. News hit, right? The data is coming out. So this is what's happening on my side. $600. I have my take profit all the way up here with a stop loss, a break even. Okay, I'm 5 contract in and my take profit is here. As soon as I saw the fair value gap got hit on 32nd, I entered with 5 contracts right here. So let's see if it gets hit or not. Okay folks, let's see if I make $1,000 or not. I'm not at any risk as my stop loss is at break even. The profit is hitting $600. So let's push higher. Let's see if we push higher or not. Okay, let's see. No risk in this trade because of my stop loss management. When I took this trade, stop loss was right here, and seems like TP is gonna get hit. So let's see. No, I only took trade on Dow, not on NQ. Dow in my eyes had a better setup compared to NQ. And I'm done for the day. So the sell stop is done. So do you guys see that? Okay, I waited whole day for this only one setup to form, and it formed. And I don't know about you, the reason behind my stream is not to give you signal, but to teach you how to read price action. And throughout the whole day folks, okay, you saw me being so patient. We saw multiple trades, but I didn't took it. I have been patient, and see, this is how patience pays, right? Even on NASDAQ, I outlined this breaker, right? And I told you we got a fair value gap, higher time frame fair value gap supporting us, then also as well as the breaker. And throughout the whole day, I didn't execute any setup. Where is it? Other than this one. So see, 5 contracts that I bought here. Where did I bought? As soon as this fair value gap got hit, I executed here. Closing where? The 0.5% of what? If I take you guys on the hourly chart, okay, everything had a logic, not blindly. I'm not just trading a pattern. See, I referred to you guys that this is a long wick that we generated and didn't trade it. And the consequent encroachment, I told you guys, see, if you go back, you will hear me saying we will reach for this consequent encroachment. I put an eye on this. What is this? This is a target, right? This is a good target. I told you guys this is gonna be a good target to take a partial, and this is gonna be a good TP. So the execution and the patient all paid beautifully from the breaker here. So I'm done for today, folks. I don't know about you, and I hope you found my stream so far insightful. See, at the top, right exactly at the top, I got. So you wanna build something like this inside you, right? You wanna react with price so fast when you see your setup, and you wanna wait patiently, right? So I got mine, and with 5 contracts, I'm happy with the delivery that price did here. And on Dixie, I already told you guys that we have a relative equal high, but for dollar to reach down this fair value gap is possible. And if we see dollar reaching for this fair value gap, we will see a potential move higher on stocks. The folks who have been here, you heard me telling you the same thing, right? So I hope you enjoyed my session so far, and I hope you learned something from my patience, from the trades that I took. And you don't need to see me executing in front of you to learn it, as I'm outlining it on live price action, calling the market with the exact level live. When I saw the breaker here, okay, I'm explaining why I took the trade here, not here. When this breaker formed, I told you guys that this is a good level for us to execute, right? And I told you guys this is the breaker, my friends, that I'm gonna watch. And I told you that I wanna see a fair value gap here. I wanted to see it on Nasdaq. Nasdaq also formed it, came down, hit the breaker, went up, came down, hit the breaker, as well as on Dow, and went up. So I hope you learned something, and from today's stream we got that the high probability macros, when we have news at 8:30 and 8:30 and 10, right? When we have both news together, the high probability macros are 10:20 to 10:40, 10:50 to 11:10, and I proved it to you today that it is a high probability macro. You won't see this kind of stuff that I'm showing you here anywhere else. So with this saying, folks, I'm closing my stream today. I probably will catch you guys on Friday, okay? Not tomorrow. There won't be a stream tomorrow because it's a Thanksgiving day. And I'll catch you guys on Friday. Until then, take care, stay blessed, and peace.